Here's something nobody tells you about anxiety. It doesn't just make your life harder today, it literally shortens it. A Danish study tracked over 3 million people for a decade and found that anxiety disorders increase the risk of death by 66%. That's not a typo. But here's the good news. The fix isn't complicated, and we'll get to that in a minute. Let's start with what's actually happening. When you're anxious, your body releases cortisol. That's your stress hormone. And cortisol is helpful when you need the run from danger. But when it's flooding your system every single day, that's when things go wrong. Cortisol does 3 things that age you faster. First, it attacks your telomeres. Telomeres are like the plastic tips on shoelaces. They protect your DNA. Every time your cells divide, your telomeres get shorter. That's normal aging. But chronic stress, it speeds that up. A study in psychoneuroendocrinology found that people with high cortisol responses to stress had significantly shorter telomeres. That's accelerated cellular aging. Second, cortisol cranks up inflammation. Your immune system starts attacking your own body. Heart disease, digestive problems, respiratory issues, all of them are linked to chronic inflammation. And third, cortisol weakens your immune system over time. You get sick more often, you heal slower, your body just wears out faster. So the question isn't whether anxiety shortens your life. It does. The question is, what do we do about it? Now, before I give you the solution, let's talk about why most anxiety advice doesn't work. Because if just breathe or think positive actually worked, you wouldn't still be here watching this video. The problem is simpler than you think, and we'll get there. But first, one more thing you need to know. The Danish study I mentioned earlier, they didn't just find that anxious people died younger, they found how they died. 40% died from unnatural causes, accidents, homicides, suicides. But 60%, natural causes, heart disease, digestive conditions, respiratory failure. And here's what matters. Comorbid anxiety and depression increase the suicide risk by 18 times. Accidental death, 8 times higher. That's not because anxious people are careless. It's because anxiety hijacks your decision making. You're constantly in survival mode, so you don't notice the red flags. You push through warning signs, you ignore pain, and your cardiovascular system, it's under constant assault. A 2024 study in JACC found that stress-related neural activity, basically your brain's alarm system stuck in the on position, directly increases inflammation and damages blood vessels. So the damage isn't just psychological, it's biological, and it compounds every single day. But here's where it gets interesting. Remember when I said the fix is easy? I wasn't exaggerating. The solution isn't therapy. It's not meditation apps. It's not eliminating stress from your life, because that's impossible. The solution is changing one thing: your body's response to stress. And the fastest way to do that? Physical activity. Here's what exercise does at the cellular level. When you move your body, and I mean really move it, not just a casual stroll, you increase telomerase activity. That's the enzyme that repairs your telomeres. A study by Puterman and colleagues found that women who met CDC activity guidelines, about 150 minutes a week of moderate exercise, were completely protected from stress-related telomere shortening. Let me say that again, completely protected. For inactive women, high stress meant shorter telomeres. For active women, stress had no effect on their cellular aging. None. Exercise also lowers cortisol, reduces inflammation, and restores immune function. It's not a band-aid, it's a biological reset. Now, I know what you're thinking. 150 minutes a week? I don't have that kind of time. You don't need to become a marathon runner. You just need to hit that threshold. 20 minutes a day, a brisk walk, a bike ride, anything that gets your heart rate up. And here's the part nobody talks about. You don't need to feel better for it to work. Your telomeres don't care if you enjoyed your workout. They care that you did it. But exercise isn't the only lever you can pull. Sleep matters. Women who sleep less than 6 hours a night have significantly shorter telomeres. Aim for 7 to 9 hours. Diet matters. Foods high in fiber, vitamins, and omega-3 fatty acids are linked to longer telomeres. Processed meats and trans fats? The opposite. And substance use matters. Smoking and excessive alcohol consumption accelerate telomere erosion. Not surprising, but worth saying. The point is, you have more control than you think. Anxiety isn't a life sentence, it's a signal, and the fix is mechanical, not mystical. So why doesn't most anxiety advice work? Because it treats anxiety like a mental problem. But anxiety is a physiological problem with mental symptoms. Your brain isn't broken, your body is stuck in a stress response. And you can't think your way out of a biological state. That's why just relax doesn't work. You're trying to override your nervous system with willpower. It doesn't work that way. But when you exercise, you're giving your body what it actually needs, a way to metabolize the stress hormones, to burn off the cortisol, to signal to your brain that the threat is over. That's the fix, and it's easier than you think. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Anxiety is serious. It's not just in your head, it's in your cells. And if you ignore it, it will shorten your life. But the fix isn't complicated. Move your body, sleep enough, eat real food, avoid the obvious toxins. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. And if you're thinking, I'm too anxious to start exercising, I get it. Start small, 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Just move. Your telomeres will thank you. Your heart will thank you. And the years you get back, they'll thank you too. Anxiety doesn't get the last word. You do. Hit like if this made sense and subscribe so the next one finds you when you need it.